Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert. Y'all know Susan, but you might not yet know Ariel. Ariel, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. Now, tell us, first of all, what organization are you with and what city are you in?
I am in Austin, Texas, and I am with the Capital Area Parkinsons Society.
What is the Capital Area Parkinson Society? What do you guys do?
We are a local nonprofit that our mission is to educate and offer support for people and caregivers living with Parkinson's in the greater Austin area.
That's awesome. Is there a particular reason why you're involved with them? Is there a heart story or
I don't have a great heart story. I am a social worker and I've worked with seniors kind of my entire career, went to school for gerontology and just worked in the aging field for a long time in Austin and was asked to help lead a support group for people with Parkinson's. And then I just kind of fell in love with the organization. And as a social worker, it was very, a small population. There weren't a lot of services. And I kind of connected with a lot of the caregivers and just thought how awesome they were and how much love they had for their spouse, that they were still kind of continuing the work after, years after their spouses had passed away. So I just kind of found the whole group really inspiring and kind of stuck with them and have enjoyed being a part of it.
To hear you talk about the caregivers is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's a big part of what we do in Yaks, and it just really matters.
Mm-hmm.
I do
in the whole
agree
picture.
too. Yeah, the community is a unique one, and I hear this repeatedly from care partners as well as from social workers and others in the field to say that the buy-in, and I don't know if it has to do with the longevity or what exactly it is, but there's something in the Parkinson's community where people really do come together, and like you say, there's meaning and purpose people find in being of service to each other. And maybe it's because there is a lot we can do for each other if we put in the effort. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, and I just think there's so much knowledge that people don't know and they don't know where to get it, and you're not able to get in your doctor's office and you can't just do a Google because Parkinson's isn't as well known and aren't as many studies and it's just not there for everyone. So they really need people that are kind of boots on the ground dealing with it every day.
I so agree with you that those gaps are, I think the gaps are known and yet still not addressed, especially when it comes to the psychosocial, the emotional well-being, and the engagement factor, right? How do we engage with each other better? What are some of the things you run a support group, you say, what are some of the things you do to run a support group well? Because I'm guessing, and I'll just say it from a care partner standpoint, I've seen support groups done well, and I've seen other ones that to me aren't done as well because they turn to more complaint fests, and that's how do we keep going with this? Who wants to keep showing up for that? What do you do to address that?
Well, we kind of started off with like people giving an introduction and how long have they been diagnosed, and kind of just asking questions. What are one thing you wish you had known or someone had told you in the start of your journey? And so it's kind of starts off with more of like a positive and helpful thing, not complaining. And we kind of the feedback just from the members are like, yeah, we don't want this to be called a disease because that's negative, and like what wording can we change? So I think we've had really good people showing up that are just thirsty for the knowledge. And because of COVID, everyone was kind of locked down and you were doing virtual and not getting as much information that maybe people would have gotten in a doctor's office. I really feel like now people are not bitching. They're just wanting to share and they want to be good caregivers, or they want to live well with Parkinson's and they want to know how to do that.
Susan, what was your experience going to the group? Because I know you mentioned you've had some back and forth too, just like I have with different support groups. What was your feeling going to this one?
That there was a thirst for knowledge and the chance to talk to each other. Just, in fact, they had, Ariel's group had planned one of the 4 hours to be an exercise time, and the group didn't want to leave and go exercise. They were really enjoying and valuing learning from each other. And I love that.
Yeah, it's that heightened kind of learning, like you say, and a flattened kind of learning too, because when learning is presented as a top-down type of thing, you don't know anything, let me tell you, more traditional, that's far less engaging than someone saying, hey, here's what I got, and all of a sudden it's like a gumbo of learning. We're all throwing something together and getting different flavors out of it, which again,
I'm not sure if this is why, but I left before the meeting was over, maybe halfway through. I had to go, and Ariel told me that the rest of the time, a couple of people went out to their cars and got guitars and brought them in and played music. I mean, how cool is that? These were people never met each other before that day and
That
sang together.
instant karma. Ariel, that's our 5 minutes. I just wanted to give you the last chance. Is there anything on the way out that you wanted people to know that maybe they don't know about CAPS and why they should come join you?
I mean, I think we're kind of newly getting back in person, and we'd love to see anyone that's interested in learning about what we can do and how they can help, and kind of sharing what they know and learning what they don't. So
And it's the second and the fourth Fridays.
right now, that's what it
We'll
is.
put all that info in the dialogue box below. Thanks so much for being here today. That is your Daily Dose.